Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gayle Saunders here with AJ Torres. And how are you doing today, Mr. AJ?
I'm good. I had a long, eventful day, but glad to be on.
Ready to talk these birds. And recently this week, AJ wrote an article, and it was on 5 important questions that must be answered before week 1. And the football season is right around the corner, AJ. I know you're geeked. I'm pretty geeked. We did get one of those answers. I don't want to give it away, but we did sort of get one of those answers this week, being that it's Steven Nelson, or Nelson Island, as you might say. But I don't want to give that away. But let's start out with how you're feeling about the season going into it.
Let's just say the signing of Nelson Island completely changed my mind about this team. I had them around a 5 to 7 win team, realistically, because it's really hard to expect anything out of this team right now. Mm-hmm. But with the signing of Nelson, it just completely changes the outlook of this defense, which I think will help Jalen Hurts in the offense. This is probably the best secondary room that they've had since Lido Shepard years. Like Lido, Sheldon Brown, in my opinion, it's just as an overall room.
I mean, you want that consistency at the position, and if they can form a nice little tandem, I'm with it. But let's start with your number one. I'm not saying number one as in QB, but no, your number one question that needs to be answered, and is Jalen Hurts QB1? Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, everyone understands about the whole Deshaun Watson thing going on right now. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe that Howie Roseman, without a doubt, will make that deal if all his charges are dropped or found not guilty. There's just too much smoke and too many guys around the league who cover the sport who say the Eagles are the most likely destination. But with that being said, the season is a little more than 2 months away. They have to figure that out immediately, because as much as you want to say that that Jalen Hurts said he doesn't care if he's called QB1 going into the season or not, being told you're QB1 by your coach and your organization just completely gives you the most confidence you can possibly get. And I think that Jalen Hurts deserves the shot to at least be the QB1 for the remaining of this year. I don't think that they should touch Deshaun Watson.
It's the thing. I mean, you're talking about going into the season with positive vibes. Jalen Hurts has done everything that needs to do in this offseason. He's got the troops to rally around him. He's a leader in the locker room early on in his career. He really hasn't even had one full season to be that guy, but he's exemplified that character that you like. Talk about good energy, bringing the right players together. I think this team, more than anything, lacked chemistry last year. Chemistry is so important, and the whole idea of bringing another quarterback after going through that drama last season with QB controversy, right. For the last 2 years, do we want to start that right away? Would you like a quarterback who plays under $2 million for the next couple of seasons? That would be nice,
right?
So I mean, you did mention. I mean, is Jalen Hurts QB1? Can we right now? He's a guy. We're giving him the keys to the offense and let her rip. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, that's what should happen. But Howie Roseman, he loves his quarterbacks, and if he can upgrade that position at any will, he's going to do that. regardless if it's a Deshaun Watson or if the Aaron Rodgers thing unfolds again. You never know. You don't win him. Remember, QB factory.
Shout out to all the people in the chat. People are spicy, man. People up here. Shout out to Mark Bird, Lamont Fuentes, Moneybags is in the building.
How you doing,
West Coast
everybody?
Birds are in the house. Chris Bish in the house. He says, in our ideal world, Watson's situation doesn't clear up to the end of 2021. We get to what Hurts has first. You know what? And then Lynette says at least 5 Hurts 1 year to see what he can do. He had an abbreviated season last year. Peter King also mentioned on, I believe he was on with Adam Kaplan and Jeff Moser. He mentioned that if there was a trade to happen, it wouldn't happen until next season.
Right.
And the whole idea of like, it would be weird, man. Like the whole idea, just if they're going to see what Jalen Hurts has in the tank, and then by the week, like by the trading deadline, they're like, hey, maybe we bring in a quarterback by the name of Deshaun. It would be a crazy scene. I just feel like, the whole situation is just not a good situation to start your career off here, and it's that they have to see what the situation looks like, but it's just the optics look really bad, and it's
right.
I don't know if I'm trying to touch that.
Yeah, I'm not either. It's so telling that no one has named him QB1 yet, in my opinion.
Right. Ooh, that's even the topic alone is like, it's a big topic. It's a big topic right now on the timeline. It's between vaccines and Deshaun Watson, and it's kind of crazy. Yep. Your number 2 question that you wanted answered before week 1. What is the team's identity moving forward? We know Nick Sirianni. He's the leader of the ship right now. He's a young coach in the league, but has a ton of energy. What do you say, my friend?
So under Doug Peterson, we're so used to this team being so offensive based, but in reality, their defense kept them afloat. That regardless how much you hated Jim Schwartz or whatnot, the numbers prove that the defense kept that team alive. Moving forward, we don't know much about Sirianni's whole ordeal of coaching techniques. We know Jonathan Gannon is a Zimmer protege, but we still don't know what exactly he's going to implement yet. So we don't know the identity, if it's going to be smash mouth kind of team, a finesse kind of team, run the ball, down your throat, pass happy, cover 3, cover 2, man. These are all questions that we need answered. Just so we're a city who likes to know about our football team, and we're still kind of kept in the dark of what kind of football team it's going to be. If it's going to be well balanced, if it's going to be back and forth every different game. It's just such a weird year.
There's a lot to uncover and peel back. Like when the season starts, we really don't know who our go-to wide receiver is. We don't know the dynamic between our tight ends. Like is Zach Ertz really here? We don't know who Jalen Hurts' number 1 wideout's going to be.
Exactly.
There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. You talk about smash mouth. Steichen. They surrounded their young quarterback last year.
Yep.
And Herbert. They ran the ball a lot. Hopefully they implement the run here too, man. I'm talking about get Miles Sanders going. That would be nice. Chris Bish says, let's hope the team's identity includes utilizing Sanders twice as much as we did last year, and we're gonna get to that.
Chris.
We're gonna get to that. Kevin Trump says identity, the team known as the unexpected coaches, vets, rookies. Shout out to you, Kev. Thanks for joining the stream, my guy. I saw your question about the linebackers. We will get to that at the end of the show. but moving right along, I mean, we were cruising right into the third question, which is, well, we talked about CB2.
Yep.
What is the move at CB2? And that looks clean right there. That looks like a starting CB2. In your article, you talked about this whole idea happening, and it happened. Here we are. You got the guy that you were looking for last week.
Yep.
And how are your feelings about CB2 and Steve Nelson? I mean, is this what we need?
Absolutely. He just completely shores up your cornerback room. It moves Maddox to where he's supposed to be in the slot. You don't have to depend on him going against bigger body guys on the outside anymore. Keep him right in the slot. For a guy who's had 7 interceptions and 177 tackles over the last 3 years, that's a big get for 1 year, $2.5 million, up to 4. So it's just a great deal overall. They called Howie the cat wizard for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I like the move, man. It was initial, it was like not like I was geeked like when we signed Nnamdi Asomugha back in the day, but I was just fairly excited for the idea of having a CB2 that I could trust. Although if you start watching tape, you might see John Hightower working Nelson on a couple of those routes. Right. But it is what it is. He's a reliable corner, and that's all we need. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is. If we're running zone, he's going to be fine because he's very, very well coverage in zone, and he brings you that Jalen Mills factor in being able to come up and get around the line and make a tackle on the running plays.
Shout out to Brad. He said this is more of a DRC sign, but not the same skill set. Hey, man, our cornerback room is nothing to brag about prior to that signing. So this makes me feel kind of okay. I can sleep at night. Moving right along to your fourth important question that must be answered before week 1. Wide receiver 3. We know we have some young guns in the house. We know that we got Devontae Smith. We know that we have Jalen Reagor in the mix. But wide receiver 3, who's that guy? Who's going to stand up in your opinion?
In my opinion, I would stick with the Mr. Reliable Greg Ward. I feel like in the time that Jalen Hurts had with Ward, they had a really good rapport. They're both Houston boys. They have a really good chemistry. And I think you should just build off of that. You got Devontae, who can kind of give you a little bit of everything. And then you have Reagor, who kind of gives you your motions, your crosses, your switches. And then you got Ward, who's can play around in that first yard range, and they kind of all bounce off of each other, in my opinion.
I feel like Greg Ward to me he's been steady Eddie. Like he's the guy that moves the chains.
Reliable. Yep.
When targeted, he makes the most of his targets. Yep. I was there a couple years back when he made that touchdown in Washington in the corner. He's just the guy that he flashes and makes plays. Is he Devontae Smith? Does he have like the athleticism maybe of a Reagor? I just think he is what he is. He's like smooth R&B. Okay. Yeah. Well, and you talk about Fulgham. Fulgham is a guy who flashed, really had a presence for a nice stretch of the season, and then he went to, where did he go? Was he forgotten by Travis forgotten by the team, or was there some maturity things going on with his game? I feel like Alshon Jeffrey did kind of hold him back a little bit, but I think he's kind of like he could be the missing ingredient. If he comes out, balls out, that's another nice little surprise.
Yeah, Travis Fulgham, there's nothing against him. I just feel you go with the steady Eddie just to start the season out. I mean, it may go game by game, to be honest with you, depending on the matchups for that wide receiver 3. But they really all just have to prove themselves come training camp and come preseason for that wide receiver 3.
Now, Drew Johnson from YouTube says, Ward knows how to get open. Fulgham didn't get a fair shake last year. This training camp is really needed. Hey, man.
I agree.
Pressure bust pipes, man. This is what training camp's all about. Bring guys in here, man. Who wants it? Who wants it? Moving right along. This could be I think this is the biggest question, and I feel like this is kind of one that really needs to be answered. And this is, will Miles Sanders finally become the workhorse? Now, why is this the question that needs to be answered, my guy?
So far in his career as Eagles fans, we know that Doug Peterson and the Eagles did not use him enough. You look at his last year at Penn State, he rushed the ball for 207 times for a little over 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. In the last 2 NFL seasons, he hasn't rushed the ball more than 179 times. I know injuries. I know he's dealt with some injuries, but he hasn't been used enough. And I feel if he gets in that 250 range, you're looking at someone who can easily be a 1,000 to probably 1,300 every year. And with this kind of team, with a rookie, not a rookie quarterback, but basically going into his first year of being the starter, you need to rely on your running game as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you surround Jalen Hurts with you start getting this play action going. I mean, you take advantage of the mobility of Hurts. I mean, you're gonna come away with some dink and dunks, and then you're gonna like run off the RPOs with these two guys. It could be special. And we know that he gets those chunk plays, and it's funny because he gets these chunk plays, but you're like, can we see more, like a little ground and pound a little bit? But is it to you, is he really a ground and pound type of guy though? You think he could bang on the inside?
He's shown it at Penn State, and he's shown it every here and there with the Eagles. The big thing about Miles is that he showed that he had great body control and the ability to bounce off first contact and fight for yards. So, I mean, Doug didn't really give him that much of a chance to prove that, and I think Sirianni should give him the chance, and that's the question that will have to be answered. And on top of that, in games that Sanders carried the ball over 20 times, he rushed for 172 and 2 touchdowns, 156 and 1 touchdown, 131 and 1 touchdown, 107 and 105 and a touchdown.
So the numbers need touches.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Give him the ball. It's that simple.
Now, Tony's saying, could he be potentially the next Jonathan Taylor in this offense? I don't see why not.
I don't either.
I think he can break off some of these runs. Kelly asked a question here. Says, do you think they were doing it for longevity? RBs that carry the rock a lot don't last very long.
I mean, you can say that, but when your pass-happy offense like Doug's isn't working, you would figure that you do the smart thing and give your running back the ball. But
now Drew says, if we rush more, I feel he will get the production even with running by committee. I think he can get his yards, but I feel like there's a part where in the rhythm, I know Mark mentioned that in his tweet early. He said running backs need to get in a rhythm. Got to keep feeding them. I do agree. There's a vibe. I mean, if you've ever played running back, I used to play running back, and you want to get when you're hot. You're hot. Your feet are like your vision is on point. Yo, give me the rock. Right. I think he's deserved that. He just has to show that he's healthy. Chris from the rooftops, it says he's a 3-down back.
Mm-hmm.
We will see.
Miles should be touching the ball no less than 20 times a game. That's just whether it's running, whether it's out the backfield, he should be touching the ball no less than 20 times a game. I don't care if we listen. I'm all for a running back by committee to save your guys, but Boston Scott and Kenny G. Gainwell are not Miles Sanders. By any
means. Mike, as has mentioned, he says Sanders isn't an every down back. Needs someone else. Mike is definitely not a Penn State guy.
Does not seem it.
I'm not a Penn State guy either.
Neither am I.
I'm saying. I think he has traits. I mean, I would say that to be a every down back, I think being healthy is pretty important. You talk about that Seattle game where he was banged up in that before that playoff game. At the end of the season, he's got to show that he can, have that. I mean, there's a thing when rookies don't really know how to, like, being a pro. It starts to like when you know your body, like how you know to protect your body, what you're eating, how to get yoked up. I mean, right. He's learned from Duke Staley.
At the same time, though, not getting enough snaps and then coming out can do some work on your body too. You got to stay warm. If you're not getting the ball enough, your muscles tighten up, and then 10, 12 plays later, you come back in, you're not as loose. You got to have some kind of rhythm.
Oh, Charles is all about the booby jersey. Chris says, I just don't see how you can draft him as high as we did and stay with the community. I always feel like if you get a running back in second round, and if you I'm all about working the running back. Like I don't even, if you can get that second contract, I'm cool with it, but I'd rather run to you to death and then get another back. Oh, that's how I am.
Miles Sanders will run for over 1,200 yards this year.
Now we're gonna start taking it to the bank. Take it to the bank. We got some. There's a lot of people active today. We were gonna go short, but there's some questions in here. Lynette she says we need to see how Sirianni is with the running game. We'll have to see since he was a wide receiver himself. But I think he's. I mean, you gotta surround your rookie with a reliable run game.
Right.
I mean, that just takes the ease off of everything. If you can run the rock, and then you talk about the pieces that they've added on the offensive line alone, that they're showing that they're throwing draft capital at it. I mean, Dickerson signed today. How you feel? That's makes you feel good.
Yes, it makes me feel very good. But at the same time, the report coming out saying that they're going to try him at center. I don't really understand it with Kelsey coming back. You basically drafted
Well, I think just versatility wise. I mean, you got a guy on the bullpen that could come in and play two positions, cross train him.
Yeah,
learn from the best. I mean,
with that center position, that's not something you want to just keep moving around. With that center position, you want him to stay center. So it's either he's going to be at center or a guard. Because if he's a guard, fine, move him left, right, that's fine. But center, you want to keep him at that position.
Shout out to Deshae, always bringing heat in the chat. Steichen is a run first guy. We mentioned that earlier in the show. So I mean, that's a good idea for me. Let's see. Mark Birch says 1,000-yard running back and wide receiver this year. Write it down in a Sharpie. Do you agree?
I do agree. I feel that Devontae has the makings. I think he's this year's Justin Jefferson, but we'll see. We'll see. And like I said, take it to the bank that Miles rushes for 1,200 yards.
We got the most random questions to close the show. Brad says, how will our linebacker crew look? Is it better than last year?
I believe so.
We have more speed. I mean, we got Wilson. We got Davion Taylor.
I think this
will the
this
real
defense,
Davion Taylor show up?
I think this defense screams Davion Taylor. You already know that Gannon is a Zimmer protege, and he's going to blitz that A gap big time. And Davion's got that speed to hit that hole. Let's just hope that he can learn the fundamentals quick enough, because that'd be another waste of a 3rd-round pick.
Well, I mean, he's talking about learning 2 defenses in back-to-back years. I mean, like, that doesn't help your growth. Hopefully,
Yeah, but this kind of moves more towards his kind of game and what he played at Colorado. Like, he wasn't really as much as a coverage guy there, which is what he was asked to be last year, which is not the type of game he plays. He's a downhill, stop the run, get to the quarterback kind of linebacker, and we should be able to see that this year.
What do y'all think about Kelly Green coming back? Hey, bro, if it comes back, I'll take it. You see,
listen, I'm all for the Kelly Greens, but them all blacks and them all whites are clean, man. That's just my opinion.
All right. Shout out to Jason from Iowa. He says, Gayle, what's going on with the tailgating this season? We're tailgating this year. The question is, are you tailgating? Are you coming all the way from Iowa to tailgate? We will be tailgating, my guy. Mark says Kelsey isn't playing forever. This is true. One more year I'd see in the tank, and this is why you give the rook some snaps. Let him get groomed by the Jedi in the house, Mr. Kelsey.
For me, I just don't see Kelsey just coming back for 1 year just to play with Hurts for one season. Like, I feel like if he was going to leave, he would have left knowing that Carson was gone and they were restarting with another quarterback.
I think the extra money, man. I think.
I don't think that. He's not that type of player, dude.
Well, like an incentive to, like, they either talk to him like, look, we need you, man. Like you're the guy that if we could just get you for one more year. Didn't he have another kid? Hey, man, every year is more money for the college fund.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll take it.
I think he's back next year.
There's multiple people in the chat speaking on Nathan Gary.
He's out of the league.
Here we go. Anthony says he's going to come tailgate. All right, man. I'm gonna hold you to that. We'll see you this season. Who asked the question? Sadly, moving to North Carolina next year, but would be down to join 4th and Jauron crew. Mm-hmm. So you're not even coming, but you're asking the question. Hey, tell wifey that we're gonna fly you up here for tailgate. Drew says, I think Kelsey is waiting for his replacement. He did. Kelsey actually did say that Suamalu. They asked him who would be your replacement when you leave, and he said Suamalu. Mm-hmm. That was like 2 years ago.
This is before Big Landing came in town.
Which do you prefer, the 80s style or the 2010 Mike Vick Kelly Green?
I said 80s style.
I like that Mike Vick 2010 green pops. I actually got that jersey. That jersey pops. All right, Devon says flying in from Texas to tailgating again. That's what's up. Tailgating with the family. Is the crew going to Vegas the game this year? That is yet to be. Still trying to figure that one out. I know AJ's not going.
I will not be there, but I will be in Denver.
He'll be on daddy duty.
Yes, I will.
But I mean, I know we were gonna do a quickie, but any last thoughts before we get out? I just want to also mention that if you want to read AJ's article, it'll be in the description box below. If you want to read it right now, you can go to 4th and Jawn. It's right there, right at the top. But before we get out here, I mean, any last words before we get out here?
Let's just have a good season, man. I'm waiting. I'm impatiently waiting for this whole thing to get going. I think this is one of the most odd seasons because we honestly don't know anything that's coming. Like everyone, almost every one of these coaching staffs or staff members are generally new. So I'm very interested in what's going to happen this season.
Lynette, she says we are going to ATL this year, so definitely love to link up with any of you guys on the road. It's going to be a lot of fun this season, man. Like again, this is the calm before the storm. Practice starts tomorrow. It's the real practice starts on Wednesday.
Yep.
We're gonna get a lot of fluff tomorrow. Maybe some quotes. I'll be there for the quotes. And I'll be writing them down and putting them out there. But yeah, I mean, I'm geeked. What you have anything in the hopper for the next article? Are you gonna leave the people guessing?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the people guessing. I got some ideas swimming in my head.
All right, man.
I want to see everything for this. I want to see everything that gets put out tomorrow, and then I might have something to come out.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be we're gonna be in the guys, whoever's available. We're gonna try and keep everyone updated with some camp updates. We definitely have another beat writer coming in, working on that. And then we're just gonna have at it, man. But for me and AJ, it's always fly, Eagles fly. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Go Birds.